sometimes you should try to keep your mobile aside and enjoy your ride, and then you'll know how getting lost is easy. My ride was even before Google was born. After you get it, then places like these road monks will help you to like customize it. So you'll find a jackass crossing the road with his phone, and you are at about 70, 80, 100, 120, 130, and you're gonna bang. Malayalam Poli is what? What does it mean?
Super.
Yeah,
Great.
Malayalam Poli.
Yes, Malayalam is great.
ഹലോ ഗൈസ്, എല്ലാവർക്കും മറ്റൊരു വീഡിയോയിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം. ഹോപ്പ് യു ഗൈസ് ആർ ഡൂയിങ് ഗ്രേറ്റ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് ന്യൂ ഇയർ ആയിട്ടൊരു സ്പെഷ്യൽ വീഡിയോ ആയിട്ടാണ് ഞാൻ വന്നേക്കണേ. എ സ്പെഷ്യൽ വീഡിയോ അബൌട്ട് എ സ്പെഷ്യൽ റൈഡർ. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ കുറേ പേരെങ്കിലും ഈ പേര് കേട്ട് കാണും, ദീപക് കമത്ത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇദ്ദേഹം ആരാണ് എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയാത്തവർക്ക് വേണ്ടി ചെറുതായിട്ട് പറയാം, ഒരു സിംഗിൾ പോയിന്റ് പറയാം. നമ്മുടെ ഡൊമിനാറിൻ്റെ ഒഡീസി റൈഡിൽ എല്ലാ കോണ്ടിനെൻസും റൈഡ് ചെയ്തൊരു റൈഡറാണ് നമ്മുടെ ദീപക് കമത്ത്. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ പറ്റി പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ട്. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ കാണാനും സംസാരിക്കാനൊക്കെ ഒരു ഭാഗ്യം കിട്ടി. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു വീഡിയോ ആയിരിക്കും നമ്മളിവിടെ പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യണേ.
So tell me something about your ride experience. You have traveled 7 continents.
Yeah.
So how was that experience?
See, I am basically a traveler in the sense like I challenge the terrains across the world.
Okay.
7 continents. So far, I have ridden across 7 of the 10 most dangerous roads in the world. So there are places which a lot of people don't know it exists,
Okay.
like the Road of Bones. When I led the Trans-Siberian ride across on the Road of Bones, 6 countries and almost 16,500 kilometers. It was a great experience. But I definitely circle back to my ride of 1994 when I took the SD Road King, and I was very happy to see a SD Road King parked in Road Monks. I mean, thanks for showcasing a very beautiful two-stroke, But it's been more of a if somebody asks me to do a similar kind of a ride, I would actually tell them to slow down.
Okay.
Because in those days, I mean, my ride was even before Google was born. 1994, I was using paper maps. I was getting off the bike. I was asking people for directions. I was communicating in a sign language which anybody in the world can understand. So the beauty of travel is to communicate, is to try and understand the other person, enjoy the culture and the flavors of whichever nation you are getting into.
It's the most memorable experience, I think.
Exactly. But
The terrain and
yes.
the food.
Yeah, weather and wildlife and so many things in a travel, right? I encourage people to plan their travel. I used to work with a financial institution for 12 years. And 2015, when my wife helped me buy the Benelli GT, I traveled about 10,000 kilometers in 21 days. And we used to travel to Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and we really enjoyed our travels then. You may not see a lot of pictures of mine on
No.
but I am socially active on social media because I come sponsored. There are a lot of corporates which support my dreams. I always tell people I sell my dreams on a PowerPoint presentation, which means to say my rides are larger than life. Now I'm doing this 20,000 kilometers across 2 months.
Yeah.
And I've already done about 21,000 kilometers, and it's absolute detours. I don't stick on to the highways. I go to the smaller towns, I go to the district roads, I avoid the bigger highways unless that's the only road that I can cover for reaching a place. And I'm traveling during COVID times, and I've found that there are people who travel. There are sufficient amount of care that's being taken. Particularly the Northeast. Northeast has been very elusive for me for the last 5 years. I've been trying to do the Northeast for the last 5 years. So likewise, I encourage people to look at pockets of travel and plan it accordingly, rather than doing a dash from A to Z. Not that, see, even I've done it, so I'm not discouraging people from doing it. But in current times, we have a population explosion. When I did my rides of going fast across the country, there were hardly any people on the roads. But today, with the mobile communication, you will find a jackass crossing the road with his phone, and you are at about 70, 80, 100, 120, 130, and you're gonna bang.
Sure.
So, mobiles and technology, in a way, it's helped us, but mostly, we have diverted from the focus.
Yeah.
And I believe, whenever I go on rides with friends, I encourage people to keep their mobiles aside. Sales guys are very smart in selling you a bike, but after that comes the servicing aspect. So how much are you spending on this service? That's really important.
Yeah.
Because what a machine needs is servicing. The sale is done. And in case you have listened to some stupid reviews and invested your hard-earned money on a machine which you are not capable to maintain, then you're stuck with a liability.
Yeah.
Because your resale value is tanked. 30, 40, 50% depreciation once you've lost your money.
Yes.
So you need to be very careful which product. Just because I'm riding a Dom or a KTM 390 doesn't mean that I would encourage everybody to buy it. I can give you the plus and minuses of this product very honestly, because KTM 390 I've done about 21,000 kilometers. I think it's fairly a good mileage for me to answer any questions that you have on that bike. Dominar, I think I would have done about 150,000 kilometers. I can tell you inside out of that that product, and always remember, the production assembly guys will give you a product that is mapped for price because they need to sell this product.
Yeah.
But after you get it, then places like these road monks will help you to customize it. The tires or the crash bars or the handlebar raisers. I mean, these are things that you customize based on the kind of travels that you want to do. If somebody is saying that my original tires have lasted me 30,000 kilometers, I would say, boss, you're not riding. You're trying to gamble with your life. For me, I think planning has been one of the most critical things after getting the bike. Because once you need to choose a bike, you need to prep the bike, you need to plan your ride, and then execute it. And execution has to be to the T because there's no room for any mistakes.
Yeah.
Once you're out, you're out.
Yes, of course.
I'll not take names and I'll not take a brand, but an international brand with whom I was trying to get some really good tires. They say that the local brands, they have not allowed this foreign brand to launch that particular tires, because the minute they launch it, like the Anakis, I'm sure these are imported, these are not manufactured in India. So the minute it starts to get manufactured here, after getting all the licenses, the other brands will lose their market. So it's a mafia. I mean, they don't want foreign brands to
The
come in.
mainly problem is the car tires. There are
Yeah.
a lot of many Chinese companies are coming to India for the car tires. But the main problem is even the above 150 size tires.
Yeah.
If any super bikes is coming, that this comes 160, 180, 190, 200 section tires. No one in the Indian companies are making that kind of size.
Yeah.
All we are depending straight away Pirelli and Mixler
Yeah.
or Michelin. But nowadays all super bikes have a problem to getting that kind of.
So automatically
size.
they'll go to MRF. That's exactly what MRF
But
wants.
right now they don't have a production
Correct.
above 150 size.
Yeah. Sometimes you should try to keep your mobile aside and enjoy your ride, and then you'll know how getting lost is easy. And when you get lost, you go to a place and you speak to the elderly people. Don't speak to the young guys, because young guys will throw an attitude. I mean, I'm being honest here. You can shoot me down, but the fact remains, because I've come across on this ride as well. And when you go and stop and ask them, and you see the enthusiasm with which they respond, because you are asking them something that they know, and they're going to give you certain detours and roads which even your Google is not going to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what I did during this ride. I mean, not in all places, probably 25-30% of the roads that I've done is just by asking these people. And when you're asking them, you need to be very patient in understanding what they are trying to say. Because if you think that you've got 1 or 2 points and next you'll ask Google, you're lost. Because once in Northeast, Manipur, Mizoram, Google doesn't work. Google will give you some haywire roads which there are no roads. Plotting the map is an art. Where do you want to go is something that you should know. It's not the highways. You need to know which border crossing that you would want to do, because that's what the visa consulate's going to ask you. Which border are you getting into my country? Now, there are countries which do not allow you to cross across from any border. There are specific borders for foreigners, wherein you can travel across. A classic example is between Uzbekistan and Tajikistan in recent times. And in those days, Libya did not give me a visa because I was traveling on a motorcycle. They gave me a visa and cancelled my visa. That's the only cancelled visa that I have on my passport. So these are things that it takes in preparation. Plotting out a map. And in those days, there are no forums. Today there are 15,000 forums for a product like a Dominar or a KTM 390.
Nowadays, people are traveling, even Ladakh or any other states or Spiti or Northeast. Everyone travel with like a latest technology bikes with like a GPS or many now the 390 comes with many softwares and sensors like a ride by wire like that. On that days like a 94, you travel with the SD Road King.
See,
so how's your experience on with that bike?
We did it on one chain, 42,038 kilometers on one roll-on chain. 42,038 kilometers on one roll-on chain.
One roll-on chain.
One chain. It was a special chain that was manufactured for us by Rollon, and it was a bullet chain. Those were bigger and definitely not O-rings and X-rings, nothing. I mean, whatever technology they had in those days, they made a best chain out of it. Then Seat prepared us a special lug tires because, again, as I said, I've been I've really worked on the kind of tires that I want from the day I wanted to travel. Because after the engine, what really is good is like the rubber that kicks the ground, right? So they still have that pattern. It's called the Seat Secura.
Seat Secura.
Yeah, they have that pattern still now. 350/18 they had never done. They did a special tire for us. That dimension with that lug was newly done for us. So they created tires. I wanted two tires. One was mounted on the bike. It lasted me until Buenos Aires. But then I had to discard that tire because Australia would not allow me to carry a tire in those days. So I dumped the rear tire in Buenos Aires and fitted a new tire before I flew into Australia. The bike was prepared in such a way that we had good power. I mean, usually a Road King is about 16 or 17 bhp. I vaguely remember.
Correct.
We bumped up the power because my partner was a mechanic friend. He sat with the R&D guys in the Ideal Java factory. We used Mysore. We got the the heads shaped. Which built in a little more additional power. We had these aluminum fins for additional cooling because these two strokes used to get seized. I mean, the common problem with SD was, in case the oil was less or more, like it used to seize.
Correct.
But of course, even my bike seized. By the time we did a trial run from Mysore to Chennai, it seized twice. But we did not open the engine. We continued to ride the way it was. It's again, like luggage is an art.
Yeah.
Carrying your luggage. I see a lot of people carrying their luggage, and I consciously ask myself, are these guys going on a relocation? I've seen a lot of people tie with 15 bungee cords wrapped all around, their plastic covers, and these are things that I really want to encourage people to learn. I mean, see, I traveled on the Trans-Siberian with 11 kilos of luggage, and I was on the road for about 60 days. The Trans-Siberian was done with about 23 kgs of luggage, and that's between me and my wife. And 11 kgs of luggage is only my electronics. And even today I'm traveling with about 10 kgs of electronics because that box is 4.5 kgs. I can't avoid that. And then about 5 kgs of my electronics because it's got my drone, my SLR, my charging equipment, my laptop. All these things that's one neutral cost. I mean neutral weight. I can't do anything about it. But how big is my luggage? It's probably about 2.5 kilos. That's it. So today I'm traveling on the KTM 390 with about 16 kgs of luggage.
So how do you compare with you already had experience with the Dominar 400 to Trans-Siberia, now you are riding with the KTM 390. How will you compare with these two bikes?
See, ideally if you ask me, and I'll be honest with you, I would like to marry the Dominar engine to a KTM frame. Yeah, if we are able to switch the Dominar engine to the KTM 390 Adventure frame, it's magic. See, one thing you must understand that I did not do this ride for looking into too many things in this country. The purpose of this ride was to touch the four corners, and in between I've done a whole lot of detours. I've done as much as I can, and that's the fun of this ADV 390 because it's helped me to detour easily. Any machine can do it. I'm not denying the fact that I'm using the 390 because it's the only machine that could do it. No, any machine could do it, but the ease with which this machine is doing it, I show my gratitude to people who have really helped me in my life. SD, 6 continents, the Dominar, the 7th continent, and all my continents have been done on the motorcycle 3442. All my registration number is 3442. And then Rusar, which took me across to the Antarctic, because there were so many people who said no. I would have asked 50 people. 50 people I would have asked, and everybody said no. And then Rusark said, we own Antarctica. We discovered Antarctica 200 years back. But then again, Commander Daniel Gavrilov, he said, I cannot guarantee that we will ever land your motorcycle in Antarctica. I said that the chance I'm ready to bet. Let's go. At least you are committing to put my bike on your boat. That's the first trip, first step. You don't have to plan a 15-day ride tomorrow. You know, learn to do short rides, 1-day rides, 2-day rides, 3-day rides, and I would definitely encourage you to keep your groups short. Having said that, I'm not trying to discourage you from reaching out to a larger group of the fraternity. You can reach out through a source. Like for me, for Kerala, Sajeev stands. You know, for anything that I want here, I tell Sajeev, yeah, I'm coming to Cochin, and you know, I'm happy to meet the community. So he's my single point of contact. Like that, you know, identify a senior person who you know, who has traveled. I ask people, give me a number, I'll call you back. And I do. I mean, if time permits, I'm happy to answer your questions. Learn the art of packing, which is of most important. You know, even if it is a soft luggage. Now I see that, you know, like he's got that gypsy. Now the gypsy is something that I have used. I found that to be very convenient. You can just saddle it up on your rear seat and it's very convenient, and you know, to get its ease of access. What's really important is the ease of access for you to reach out to things that you want. In India, about 300 to 400.
And
Anything more than that, you're just running kilometers. You're not seeing the town, you're not seeing the villages, you're not detouring, you're not enjoying the travel. Like, I have business meetings in Pune. I overnighted. I start at around 12:30 in the night and I'm in Pune by 7 o'clock in the morning. Because for me, it's a commute. I just need to go. I have nothing to do in between. But in case I'm coming to Cochin, I would want to do Mysore, I want to do Wayanad, I want to do Coimbatore, I want to do, then come here. Probably 2 days. Easy ride. Stop. Anything after dark, you're munching miles, you're not traveling. Any ride that I do, I don't do in the dark. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Sometimes in case I late, 1 hour into the darkness because I need to reach that place to sleep. That's a compromise. But generally, if you ask me, start off at sunrise. I roll my bike at 5:30, no matter what. On this ride, I've seen a sunrise every day. Every day. I've seen a sunset every day and a sunrise every day. Which means to say, I'm out by 5:30. Max is 6 o'clock, I'm out rolling. Rolling is like I'm done. I'm actually moving.
അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ കാണാനും സംസാരിക്കാനുള്ള ഭാഗ്യം എനിക്കുണ്ടായി. എനിക്ക് മാത്രമല്ല, ഞങ്ങൾ കുറച്ചധികം ആൾക്കാരുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്യണ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഈ വീഡിയോ ഭയങ്കര യൂസ്ഫുൾ ആയിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരു ഹാപ്പി ന്യൂ ഇയർ വിഷ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ വീഡിയോ വൈൻഡപ്പ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. വീഡിയോ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടാൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക, ഇഷ്ടമായി ഡിസ്ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക. അടുത്തൊരു വീഡിയോയിൽ കാണുന്നവരെ ബൈ ബൈ, ടേക്ക് കെയർ.